Okay, question 37 is a follow-on from question 36 where we created a table of contents and we said the table of contents that in this particular example in question 36 was based on entries, two levels of entries, text or headings that were formatted with the style L1 for the main ones and the secondary ones being formatted with the style L2. Now they want us to make some changes. Please note that you don't make the changes to the table of contents. You make the change to the text and then you update your table. Okay, we'll emphasize that again as we actually do the question. Okay, first of all they want the heading preventing injuries becoming a first level heading. Okay, first level headings we know were formatted with the style L1. So let's just do that first of all. Preventing injuries becomes a first level heading. So I'm going to go back to my table of contents just to see if it isn't already in there, maybe as a level 2 heading. They want it to be a first level heading, or maybe it's not in there at all. Preventing injuries is the heading that they want. So I'm going to go back there. Preventing injuries. Okay, that's it there. I'm going to go and find it in my document. Okay, and it's currently, if we go and look at the particular style that's been used, you will go and see that it is in fact a level 2 heading that's been used at the moment, and we want this to be a level 1 style. So preventing injuries, I want to highlight it and I want to change the style. We're changing styles here. I want to change the style here to be a level 1 entry. Okay, preventing injuries. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my table of contents. Okay, I'm going to go back to my table of contents that I had over here. Nothing changes. Okay, right, but in the meantime what I've done is I've taken that heading, I've gone to the text and I've formatted with an L1 style so that it becomes a main heading. So I right click, I say update the field, update the entire table, and you can see now preventing injuries has now become a main heading because I've changed it from a level 2 style to a level 1 style. Again, if I had to include other headings which are currently not there, I would either have to format the headings with L1 or L2 style and update the table. Now the choice of style is entirely up to you. In this case, if we used L1 and L2, let's say by default heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3 are used, but you can choose, depending on how you've formatted your headings and which styles you've used, you can choose which ones you want to use for your table of contents and how many levels and that type of thing. Let's go back and have a look at there was a second part of the question where we had to remove something. The athletics injuries must no longer appear. Okay, athletics injuries must no longer appear. In other words, it's currently appearing. Okay, so in other words, over here, athletics injuries is appearing. I'm just going to go and look for it in the text. Okay, and it's an appearing because it's an L1 style. So that any L1 text with L1 style is going to appear. Now, it doesn't help me changing it to L2 because that's also going to appear. The easiest to simply say is to highlight it and under your styles, change it to another style, or simply just go and under changing your styles, if you click your down arrow and I'm going to scroll right across here so that you can see, I'm going to clear all so that it's got text is still there. Please note, you don't delete it anywhere. You don't delete it to remove it from the table of contents. You don't delete it from the text and you don't delete it from the table of contents. Now if I go down to my table of contents, it's still going to appear there because I haven't updated my table yet. But athletics injuries, which was formulated, not formulated, but was, pardon me, sorry, we're getting a bit drunk moving around here. Athletics injuries should no longer appear when I update the table, because if I update the field, update the entire table, Bob's your uncle, it's disappeared. So that's an important concept, is that you don't delete it physically from the table and you don't delete it physically from the text of the document. You change the style so that it either appears or doesn't appear, depending on what you wanted to do with the particular heading and whether you wanted it to appear in the table of contents or not.